You know that old saying, a drop in the ocean? Well, what if it's the other way around? What if you're not a drop in the ocean, but the entire ocean in a single drop? Today we're going to dive into one single, really powerful metaphor that might just flip how you see yourself and your place in the universe. So let's get started on our journey down the river of life. It all starts with this simple idea. Life is like a river. That's it. This one sentence is the source, the headwaters for everything we're about to talk about. Just try to picture it right now. This huge, endless current, always moving, always shaping everything it touches. So here's our roadmap. First, we're going to get to know the river itself. Then, we'll find our own spot in the current as this unique thing called a whirlpool. After that, we'll look at a case of mistaken identity that so many of us fall for before having that big realization about our true nature. And finally, we'll see what it means to flow out of form. Let's jump in. All right, so to really get a handle on ourselves, we have to start by understanding the river. What exactly is it? What does it stand for? Okay, so think of the river as, well, everything. The fundamental, flowing essence of all existence. You can stick any label you want on it. God, love, consciousness. Honestly, the name doesn't really matter. What does matter, what's absolutely crucial, is its nature. Its whole purpose is just to flow. It's in a constant, unstoppable state of motion. So if all of existence is this one giant flowing river, then where are we? Where do you and I fit into this picture? The answer this metaphor gives us is kind of beautiful. You are a whirlpool. Just think about that for a second. A whirlpool isn't some separate thing from the river, is it? No, it's the river itself, just twisting and turning into a unique, temporary pattern. You're made of the exact same stuff as everything and everyone else. Let's break that down a bit. The water making up your whirlpool? That's the universal essence we talked about, consciousness. And all the little twigs, leaves, and bits of debris caught in your current? That's your personality, your memories, your life experiences. And what about all those other whirlpools you bump into? Well, those are just other people, each one a totally unique expression of the very same river. And this brings us right to the heart of the problem, the central mistake this metaphor helps us see. It's this deep, fundamental case of mistaken identity. See, here's the mistake we make. We think of ourselves as a noun. We say, I am a whirlpool, a separate, solid, fixed thing. But our true nature? It's a verb. The truth is, I am the river, a process, a movement, a flow. When we lock ourselves into identifying with that temporary form, we feel small, limited, and cut off. But the moment we identify with the timeless flow that's creating the form, everything opens up. We tap into this vast, connected understanding of all existence. So what happens when we fix that mistake? What does it actually feel like when we have that huge shift in perspective? This is the core of it. This is the big reveal. You are not in the river. You are the river. The entire universe is just showing up for a little while at the spot we call you. That is such a profound switch, right? You go from being a passenger along for the ride to realizing you are the ride itself. Now, from this much bigger perspective, things that might have seemed, well, kind of weird before suddenly start to make a bit more sense. The source material suggests that concepts like ESP or telepathy aren't really about one separate mind magically zapping another. It's more like one part of the river naturally feeling a ripple from another part. Of course it would. It's all the same water. This metaphor also gives us a really powerful and, I think, comforting way to understand the whole cycle of life and what comes after. The journey of our form, our whirlpool, is actually incredibly simple when you look at it this way. The river flows into a specific pattern, that's birth. Then it flows through that pattern, that's your life. And eventually it flows out of that pattern, and that's death. It's all just one single continuous movement. So what is death in this view? It's not the end, not at all. It's simply the moment that the unique pattern of the whirlpool lets go. The form dissolves, sure, but the water, your actual essence, your being, is completely untouched. It just rejoins the main current, going back to the timeless flow. And what about something like reincarnation? Well, the metaphor has this really elegant take on that too. As the water keeps flowing, a new whirlpool might start to form downstream. And maybe, just maybe, some of those twigs and debris, those leftover experiences and traits from a previous whirlpool, get caught up in the current of the new one. It's not a direct copy-paste,
It's more like an echo, carried on the water.
Okay, so we've talked about the river, the whirlpool, the whole cycle of life and death. But let's bring it all home. Why does any of this matter? Why is seeing the world this way so important?
I mean, that's the bottom line, isn't it? What's the real-world takeaway here? What actually changes for you and me when we stop thinking we're the whirlpool and start knowing we're the river?
Well, the significance is it's profound. It's about fixing a basic error in how we see things, recognizing our temporary form is not who we really are. Our true identity is the timeless river itself, just doing its thing in one particular spot for a while. You can literally feel this connection in your own body, in the flow of your breath, the flow of your blood. And that offers this incredible peace of mind. The whirlpool, your current form, is temporary, yeah, but the river, what you really are, is timeless.
Let's just end on this one powerful thought, the absolute core of this whole idea. You may flow into form, through form, and out of form more times than you can count, yet there is never, ever a moment when you are not the river. So the real question to leave you with is, what would change for you today if you started living like you knew that was true?